What up, homie? My name's Dave, and really, I'm just out here trying to save the world one jamoke at a time. And with that in mind, today I'm gonna answer some of your top dating questions to help you get back on the right track and realize exactly what you need to do to get the girls that you really want. A lot of these questions are coming from my new Facebook group, The Confident Casanovas, and I answer a lot of questions like this on a daily basis within there. So if you want me to get active with you to see my new content, check that out. Go join the group now. Just hit the first link in the description. Anyway, all that being said, I'm actually gonna spice this up a little bit and have my girlfriend Ayuki come in and help me answer some of these questions so y'all can get a little bit of the girl's perspective. Let's hop into it. All right, so our first question comes from Eric, who says, how do you change the belief that you're making her day better by approaching? It's actually a great question because I know a lot of guys are afraid that they're gonna like mess up the girl's day, they're gonna annoy her, or they're just gonna piss her off when they go up and talk to her. But usually, like almost always, that's not really the case. Like Ayuki, what goes through your mind? What goes through your mind when a guy approaches you, like on the street or something?
I don't really get mad.
No? What are you thinking?
He's a brave guy.
That's a brave guy. He's got some balls, some cojones.
Yeah.
But have you ever gotten like super mad and freaked out on a guy for talking to you during the day?
Not really super mad. I mean, if I'm in a really bad mood, but no, it's not a common thing.
As long as he goes up and talks to you with like some confidence and not like a complete jamoke, you're gonna give him an okay response.
Yeah, definitely.
You gotta understand, man, girls aren't gonna get pissed at you for approaching them during the day. And a lot of times it can actually make their day when you go up in a confident way and just say what's up. They'd be like, wow, like this cool guy came up to me and thinks I'm cute. Like my day's better now. So like there's no reason she's gonna get mad about that. And as far as like changing that belief that she's gonna be better off having talked to you, first, give yourself a little bit of credit. Like you're a cool guy, you're going up with some confidence, you got some cojones. Give yourself a little credit there. She's gonna be happy having talked to a guy like you. And the other thing you can do is go up and approach more girls during the day. The more girls you approach and you learn from those approaches, you're gonna get better at it and you're gonna get positive experiences from girls. And as you see those positive experiences and positive reactions, it's gonna be easier and easier to have that belief. Our next question is from Todd. He asks, how to not fall into the boyfriend box. So for you guys who don't know, like the boyfriend box is basically like the zone that a lot of guys fall into early on in the dating process with a girl. Like they take things a little bit too seriously, they move too slow, and instead of the girl seeing him as like a fun guy, she sees him as a potential boyfriend, and then she doesn't want to do things like hook up quickly, go home with him, and things like that. And the whole process just seems way too serious. Now Yuki, let me ask you a question. When we first started hanging out, did you see me as like boyfriend material?
No.
No, what did you see me as?
It's like a fun guy having fun.
Fun guy having fun, exactly. But it started off as the fun guy, but that doesn't mean I couldn't eventually become the boyfriend, which obviously I am now. But because I was the fun guy, it allowed us to move faster and have a good time versus like taking shit super serious right off the get-go. Now, as far as how I avoided the boyfriend box and how you can too, the big thing is that you want to show her that you're not going to judge her for, doing things, whether it be sexual things, going on adventures, or whatever else. And along with that, you just kind of generally want to be a little bit more of like that fun, playful guy versus like the super serious guy trying to like screen her for his relationship material. Oh, she must have these 3 things. Like, you don't want to do that shit. I've heard guys talk about that. I'm like, it makes me cringe a bit. Like, you gotta chill out with that, bro. Be the fun guy, move fast, try to close her on that first or second date, and she's gonna be too busy having fun with you to be worried about getting into a relationship. And that type of thing can come down the road. Kind of like it came with us.
Jose Castillo says,
Says.
Jose Castillo says, best tips on what to do / handle the situation once at home on the first date.
So I think this happens to a lot of guys where they'll take a girl home, they'll feel awkward, like they'll sit across from her on the couch for 2 hours and not make a move because like she didn't give him the sign that she wanted to make a move, and then she takes an Uber and it's fucking awkward. But what's a lot better to do is to have like a simple process you can follow from the time she walks in the door to getting the hookup and getting to that point where y'all are talking about whatever you're talking about after sex. So what I like to do right off the bat is when she walks in, tell her to take her shoes off, you take your shoes off too, and that way, boom, you got a little bit of investment right there. She's already taken something off, so it'll be easier for her to keep taking things off later in the night. From there, you want to offer her a drink. It can be alcohol, water, whatever she wants. A lot of times girls are going to be tired. They're going to want some water. So a lot of times we'll just go for that. If she wants some wine, that's cool too though. And then y'all can sit on the couch. Make sure to sit right next to her. And what you want to do from that point on, maybe give her a little bit of cheers. You know, nice cheers with the wine or even the water, whatever the fuck. And then start slowing down the pace of your speech when you talk to her to the point where, all right, within 10 minutes, you want to be making a move. You want to be going for the kiss and making something happen. If you wait longer than that, that's when it's going to start getting awkward. She's going to be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So make that move. Then once you guys start kissing, just kind of like put her from the couch, like move her on top of you. And then at that point, she's on top of you. Y'all are kissing. Things are starting to heat up. A move I like to do at that point is to just stand up while holding her and walk her right over to the bedroom. It's like a simple transition right from the couch to the bedroom. What do you think about that, Yuki?
Sounds good.
That sounds like a good move? It is a pretty good move. And then from there, you just kind of go into the bedroom and close the deal. Obviously, you want to respect the girl and what she wants to do. If she says no, like clearly like no means no. Don't be a fucking dick about it. Like respect women. But that's sort of a simple strategy you can follow to go from having her walk in to closing the deal and, you know, having her have a really good and enjoyable experience with you. Next up, we get a good one. We actually can both answer this one too. From Elliot Roof. I think that's how I pronounce it. What's the worst date you've ever been on? What'd you learn from the experience? All right, so for me, it was definitely, there's one that really stands out. I was meeting this girl at the mall for some coffee, and we met up at the mall. We were hanging out. And then we went from the coffee shop to kind of walk around the mall a little bit. And she forgot her purse in the coffee shop. It was a complete mess. And it was just, I was like, this girl is a complete jamoke. It's terrible. And, what?
It's me.
I'm fucking with you guys. I was talking about our first date. That actually wasn't my first and my worst date ever. But my real worst date was, I had to be back when I was living with How to Beast in Spain back in the day before I ever met a Yuki. And it was with this Turkish girl from Tinder. She came out, she was a complete bitch right off the bat, and she had the worst BO I've ever smelled. And I was like, what is this girl doing with this BO up in here? This is terrible. So we go out to a bar, I'm just like cringing the whole time. We order a drink, then I'm like, all right, I need to run to the bathroom. I run to the bathroom, I call my buddy, I'm like, yo, this is going terribly. Like, I don't want to even see this girl. I go back out of the bathroom, she's gone. She's not sitting there. She just left me straight up at the bar. And I was honestly so relieved that she left because I did not want to keep hanging out with her. And she must have felt the same about me, which is all good because I did not give a fuck.
Cariño, what was you say? What she got? I smell what?
BO.
I don't know what is the
body odor. It's just like when this just smells like sweat. And Yuki, what was your worst first date?
I remember a day with a guy who had a really bad breath.
Bad
really
breath?
Bad, yeah. And he looks dirty in general. Like, he looked dirty. Like, greasy hair, greasy beard, greasy everything. Like.
And then what happened?
I mean, we got a couple of drinks and then...
You got more than one drink with this dude?
2 drinks.
2 drinks with this dude. She's over here smelling like ass and you're just over here just chugging tequila. What are you doing? What'd you learn from it?
Don't go out with smelly guys.
Next up, we got Akram Al-Salti. He said, what topics should we talk about right after the first sex to not make the situation awkward? All right, so there's a few go-tos I have here, and I'll get a Yuki's feedback in a minute, what she thinks. But first off, do you want some water? Because honestly, she gonna be parched. We just had a long session. She gonna want something to drink. Next up, what's your favorite sex position? Now the reason I like this is because it shows her that, hey, you're interested in having sex with her again, whether it be later that night or in a day in the future, and you want to keep making it better and better for her. Another question I like to ask is, at what point did you realize you wanted to have sex with me? And the reason is because you always want to be learning from these experiences you have with girls. And it's good, it's a really good learning lesson for her to tell you, hey, I realized that after you said this, or after you asked me that question, or once you brought me home, and you start picking up on, okay, here's what's making it click for me. This is what I need to start doing more of. So that way you make sure you learn something from every experience. All right, so Yuki, like, what do you think of these questions?
I think they are really good questions after sex.
Why?
I mean, if you already slept with a guy, it's because you are into having sex with him. So this is an important topic to the next sex session.
So it kind of sets the frame. It makes things easier to have it the next time.
Definitely, yeah.
Next, we got Kyle, who said, how do I surpass older women using the "you're old enough to be my son" excuse? No matter how confident I approach them, and yes, they're single, it's always the age gap. I'm always told that they love younger guys more, but it doesn't seem that way. Now, in terms of talking to older women, or just talking to women in general, like, women are gonna have either one of two things: conditions or objections. An objection is something that you can overcome, that they're open to kind of changing their stance on, maybe even like a shit test or something. And a condition is something that they kind of require to be with them. And like, so like some women, they're like, it's a condition for them. They're like, all right, if a guy is this young, I'm not gonna get with him, and that's a condition for them. And no matter what you do, it's gonna be hard to overcome that. But for others, it's an objection, and you can overcome it. So it's hard to distinguish between those two. If she keeps not allowing you to overcome the objection, though, it might be a condition, and it's better to move on. That being said, if it is an objection, which a lot of the time it is, what you want to do is agree and exaggerate. So basically, you kind of play along into her frame. You say something like, hey, if I got too much energy for you, just let me know. I'll slow down. Aside from this, though, what you also want to do is dress well. If you're out there looking like a slob, sexy older women are not going to want to talk to you. And you also kind of want to have an air of adventure and excitement about you. You want her to feel like if she keeps hanging out with you, some exciting, adventurous shit's going to happen versus maybe the same boring ass shit that happens when she talks to a guy her age. Hey, Yuki, what do you think about that strategy?
This is really good, yeah.
Would that help a younger guy get on you?
Definitely. I mean, a fun guy always help. Always help? Oh, what the fuck what's that?
This last one is going to be a doozy, guys. Brian Thornton says, what was your biggest jamoke moment? All right, so I've done a lot of jamoke shit with girls, a lot of dumb mistakes, but I might have to say my biggest jamoke moment of all time came in my senior year of college. There was this girl I've been hanging out with for a few weeks, and like we were kind of cool, but sometimes it was still a little awkward when we'd hang out. Like the connection wasn't super strong, but we were all right. And one night we're out at a college party, and then one of her girlfriends comes up, and they both start dancing on me, kind of like grinding on me, and then they start making out while dancing with me. And I'm sitting there like, oh man, I'm king of the world, let's go. The next morning, like we wake up, I walk her out of the house, I'm still on cloud nine, like feeling like the fucking man. And as she, I'll walk her out the door, she's probably about like 10 feet out the door at that point, and I'm like, hey Susie. And she turns around and I say, don't ever make out with another girl in front of me again, because I really did not enjoy that. Now, bro, I don't know if I was trying to tease her, if I was trying to play hard to get. I don't know what I was trying to do with that, but let's just say it was one of the most awkward experiences of my life. And one of my best friends was like in earshot of it, and he heard it, and he never let me live it down. He still fucking tells that story to this day. So I'm getting out in front of it just in case it ever comes out and I get exposed. Just know, I know that I was being a jamoke right there. The good news is though, just because you're a jamoke in one moment does not mean you always have to be a jamoke. Right, Yuki?
Right.
There you go. Now guys, if you want to see more of these Q&As, I just created a whole playlist with them. You can check those out right around here. So go click that up right now, and I'll see you there, homie.